Okay, let's go down under the Jeep. By the way, this pillow was sitting out here. I'm not sure why, but boy, it sure is coming in handy for I found that my leg, the one that I had the surgery on, is some kind of sore, and it hurts if I try to get on my knee. And I've been using that pillow for that, and that helps quite a lot. So, we're down here underneath the vehicle. And, you know, I got to looking at all this and thinking I'd really like to have it coated because I'm not going to take that car down to Georgia right away, this car. I'm driving it up here this winter. So I was thinking, well, it'd be good to get it all coated and try to protect it as much as I can before I take it down there. There are some places where I want to scrape the dirt off, like up in here. I was thinking I'd get an air compressor and a scraper and just scrape out that mud that's slung up in there. You know, that way when I put the oil on there, I won't be oiling the muddy spots. I want to make sure to cover the back of these brake drums because what that oil stop can do is, like when you got all kind of little valves and things on your brakes that you need to be able to get loose, and that stuff kind of soaks into the back sides of them and helps to loosen them up so that when you do get ready to do your brakes, you're not going to have a problem with that sort of thing. Looks good. Yeah, looks good. So, before, one of the things got me thinking about that this morning is I was looking at where this, where these trailer things would go, and I was thinking, well, I hate to put bolts through this rusty metal because it's basically going to close that rusty metal up within the bolt holes. So, and I've got a tube that I can stick down into the frame and actually get that oil way up in the frame here. I ordered one of they make a sprayer with a long tube so you can stick up in your frame rails, and it's perfect for here to get it all up in there and all back in here. So, you know, I want to get it up on top of the gas tank and everything up in here. I did mention that I was going to come up under here and find out where it was leaking. I saw the other day it had a wet spot see, this is that other side. Now, this is you see this right here is this is the panel that they put on the outside of the Jeep, and it's just wide open under here, which is not a bad thing because there can't no water get into this. So I mean, that's not a bad thing at all. But I'll come up in here, and I'm still kind of thinking about possibly replacing this panel with one of them like I'm going to put on the other side, but I can decide that later. Anyway, I was up under here the other day and I saw a wet spot right here. Now see right here, this is a seal that's probably leaking because it's wet right there, and it wouldn't be wet right there if that was oil that was blowing back from the engine. So I want to make sure that this thing has plenty of fluid in it, and I'm not even sure what it takes for fluid or where the fill valve is on it. Some of you are more familiar with all this than I am. This says new process gear, Syracuse, New York, and there's a bunch of writing on there, which I don't know if it's readable or not, or if it's something I need to know about. I'll need to do a little research and figure out how to check the fluid in that and in both the rear ends. Let's see, now this thing isn't automatic, so that could be just automatic transmission fluid in that, and if it is, that would fill from outside here up under the engine. This is that looks like oil. It could have an oil leak. Let's see right there. It looks like wonder if somebody put some of that silicone gasket stuff in that. But all of this, see all that front suspension and everything, it can all stand to be coated with some of that oil stuff. Because we don't want no rust. We don't. I mean, one nice thing about it, if you take something down in Georgia, it pretty much don't rust. Things don't rust in Georgia. I remember when I was a kid, we used to buy cars, haul them up from Florida. They'd have a hole rusted in the fender, but they never would really get no worse because they don't have the climate for it down there. So I'll just do the best I can to oil all this up. And with it up in the air on these blocks like that, it's pretty easy to do. Oh, the joy. Oh, the joy. Look at that. Interesting. A lot of interesting stuff here. Oh, yeah. I got a little wetness back here. I'll check that. It ain't real bad, but I'll check it anyway. It ain't real bad. Firestone. These Firestones are good enough to get me down there, but I wouldn't want to go. I'm gonna need some of them for too long. I was thinking, since I'm selling that other truck and I ain't got a lot of money in this one, I might spend a little money on it. I might put some fancy aftermarket bumpers on it and things like that. It might be kind of cool. I suppose I could just spray the daylights out of this hole here with some oil too. Nice thing about that oil is it kind of neutralizes the rust. It don't really go anywhere much after you get some of that on it. Alright, I'm going to cut the camera off because I don't want to be spraying oil while the camera's under here. That will make it really ugly. Make the camera really ugly. Oh, the joy.